Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the SquadCast. We are recording this again because my computer sucks. First of all, I want to wish you all a Happy New Year. I hope you are enjoying your 2018 so far. Today we are going to be discussing Chapter 97 again because we have to record this again. But we also have something special for you guys today. I am going to introduce you to our new guests. We have a couple new guests today. First of all, Grace is here with me as usual, so say hi, Grace.
Hello.
And we have 3 new guests today. Why don't you introduce yourselves, starting with Mindy.
Oh, hi. Hi, I'm Mindy. You can find me at MegGunnaMindy. There's nothing really there right now except pictures from what I'm about to discuss, which is the Blue Exorcist stage play. The last one that happened in Kyoto for the Inari arc. I was there and I saw it, and I'm going to talk to y'all about it.
Yay!
For the other thing, there was favorite arc, ship, character.
Yep.
Am I missing it? All right. Favorite character, Yukio. Unapologetic Yukio apologist. I guess I'm biased now to how great the Inari arc is after seeing it live. And favorite ship. Oh, this one's really rough. To kind of be Yukio Shura, but I'm kind of on it. So now I'm just gonna put my my hat in for Yukio and formerly unnamed Illuminati Captain Lady. They both seem like they can bond over how they mutually hate everything.
Well, now she has a name, so...
We're gonna get to that later.
Right, spoilers. Okay, Serena, why don't you go next?
Oh, me?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Hi, my name is Serena. My Twitter username is @BelRayKuve. I post a lot of stuff, so you're basically gonna see random stuff anyway. My favorite character out of the whole series is gonna be 100% Bond because he is my man-child and I love him. My favorite ship, that's a little hard to choose, but I've been a really big shipper when it comes to like Shima and Izumo. And then my favorite arc, it's gotta be the Inari arc. I was very fascinated with the manga. I didn't see the live like you did. I was fascinated with the manga arc, and I'm just hoping that it's gonna turn out really well in the anime.
Okay, and... Awesome. Last but not least, Momo.
I'm Momo, and oh gosh, I'm trying to clean something up right now. Okay, it's done. It's as done as it's gonna get. Anyway, I'm Momo. My handle is Wildcat Sniper. My favorite character is Konakamaru. Gonna have to agree with everyone on the Inari arc as being my favorite. My favorite ship, probably Miffy Shura still.
Miffy Shura is a quality ship.
Good quality ship.
Very true.
Okay, so, since we have to do this all over again, the chapter, I'm gonna do a short summary of the chapter. So basically, Yukio leaves, joins the Illuminati, Rin is on fire.
Combusting into flames.
He's burning up.
Woohoo!
I'm so disappointed he didn't get his furry power up this chapter.
Maybe next chapter. Once he goes through his changes.
Maybe right there. We still got another month for that.
Maybe next month. Okay, so I guess some important things to note is that Rin can communicate through Yu-Gi-Oh! To Satan.
Telepathically.
Yes. Also, Boss Lady now has a name.
Boss Lady is intense, man.
She is a Toto.
All those years to the inevitable.
God! It has to be a Toto, man.
So, I have a couple of theories as to how. Well, we talked about this the last time, and then, of course, the file got corrupted. We're gonna talk about how she's related to Toto. First of all, she could be his daughter. Second of all, she could be his daughter/clone. She could be his niece. She could be his cousin. She could be his sister. Anything.
I think she might be his adopted daughter.
Hair.
That's good. That's an interesting theory because I feel like now that we know that she is Toto, she looks kind of similar to him.
Well, in my perspective, I mean, like, they might be technically blood related, but he probably adopted her as a daughter. If you understand the point where families who lose their parents adopt the child that's related to them.
Thing that happens in anime all the time, to be like, she's your sister, but no, actually she's your cousin.
Sword Art Online.
Yep, right
Oh
there.
no.
Right there.
Basically.
Or that's pretty much where my head goes whenever you're saying they're family, but not really.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's better than that. Moving on.
Yeah, but I mean, if she is his biological daughter, I wonder who banged Toto.
I mean,
Who had the audacity to bang him?
I'm gonna die laughing.
I mean, you have to wonder.
I don't want to wonder. I don't want to think about it.
I'm here.
At one point.
Like, no. Why?
Gotta bang.
That poor person.
Right.
Oh,
Maybe
gosh.
she had the mental state of actually what's the name word? I can't even think the word now. Patience, there we go. The absolute patience with his half psychotic breakdowns.
Maybe he lost her, and that's why he had a psychotic breakdown. Like,
Yeah.
with Nahas in the anime. I don't know.
What I meant.
Breakdown.
Yeah, I mentioned it like the beginning of the podcast. From the time we attempted to record it yesterday. That there's a part at the beginning of the Kyoto arc with the miasma thing that happened with I think it was the left eye of the Imperial King that got stolen. Toto tricks Yukio and basically says that he was kind of like him and he did all this hard work and had nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's kind of related to that.
It's more of a fact that he purposely forced him to awaken his powers.
Right.
So, it's more or less that he was probably I guess it was like sort of like a plan or a plot to like what was the oh my gosh, I cannot talk today. It, more or less that to bring him into the dark side, give him some cookies, feed him a little. You know, just have to like inspire him a little bit right there and make Yukio have more of like his own little breakdown of, oh, I want to know things, but you guys won't tell me anything. Okay, I'm gonna go to the dark side. And that
plant a little seed of evil? I don't know.
yes.
Well, the chapter ends where he declares everything about the Illuminati is evil, and then he's like, well, I'm evil too.
Well, I gotta be evil. Gotta be evil, man.
I don't know who
I mean,
all
like...
seen, The Last Jedi recently, but there's so many parallels between Yukio and Kylo Ren.
Right? we
Right
were just talking about this during our first recording of the podcast, that there's like parallels to the Kylo Ren's especially when his let the past die, kill it if you have to.
Oh man, just remembering the movie myself. Oh man.
I mean, it's kind of scary how literal Yukio is Kylo Ren when you consider the fact he literally shot his brother to be like, well, I'm throwing away my life.
Yeah. Also,
gotta throw my life away.
Yeah, also, I'm not gonna spoil what happens in the new trilogy, so let's just say Kylo kills someone very close to him, and Yuki almost did that with Ren. Except not really.
I wanted to do it with Mephisto.
Yep.
Mephisto. Oh wait, I don't want to miss out on things.
I mean, Mephisto's not really that close to Yukio, but yeah.
He's kind of like it.
Yeah.
Going into spoilers, so I'll just back off.
Yeah. But I also made this parallel yesterday when we recorded as well, that Yukio is shows parallels to a certain emo hedgehog, Edgy the Hedgy Shadow.
I'm Shadow. What doesn't Shadow? It's all like, okay, I'm gonna go into the dark side. No, wait. I'm just gonna stick neutral and be in between.
Exactly, because we were saying that Yukio is chaotic neutral, so that's basically
anti-hero.
He's basically Shadow, and then we've got Shima, who's definitely Rogue.
Mm-hmm. Basically.
Rouge, Rogue, I don't care anymore. I have not played Sonic in so long.
Well, I was just thinking about it because, I played the Sonic games when I was younger, and Shadow the Hedgehog, the game and the character reminded me of Yukio, so.
Yeah. Shakes my fan, but yeah.
Okay. So, let's talk about what's happening with Ren right now, because this is kind of important. Ren is on fire!
He is legit burning up, man. Like, he's so hot, even the fangirls are fanning themselves.
Oh, gosh.
So, any guesses as to what is happening to him? Because whatever he's going... Yeah.
He's going into puberty change right there. He's hitting puberty right there.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, I'm a little child, and now I'm going to become a powerful adult.
It's a very, very terrible thought, a very terrible flashback to that very terrible thing. Remember at the end of the anime where there's a phoenix, like...
Oh my god!
It's always said that the mangaka... It's always said that the mangaka plays their certain part in the anime just to make a point that, hey, this might happen in the manga. You never know.
To be fair, Kato did that design.
She did?
I have it in art book. Yeah.
Oh my god. I didn't know she consented to that. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a lot, even the filler characters.
Yeah. They are probably more or less going to still technically a special part in the
Because
manga.
I'm gonna be
Even if
honest.
they're technically filler at the moment.
I'm gonna be honest. That whole Phoenix thing makes no sense. Came out of nowhere and is stupid.
I'm a fan.
I do hope that I
He's
think
a
the
beautiful
only
butterfly.
place it's shown is on the cover of the character guidebook, but how Satan has like flame wings. And I always wanted like Rin or Yukio to get those. It's literally
Yeah,
like only
Rin's
on
gonna
the
get
character book though.
leveled
That
up
would be
design
kinda cool.
when it's all done. So,
Yukio.
That reminds me of a character that has like wings. I'm trying to remember. It's an anime character.
anime character with wings. I've never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
Me neither. Never. There's too many. Well, what's can you describe the character?
Oh no! Oh, okay. No, it wasn't an anime character. I was thinking of Lapis from Steven Universe.
Oh!
And fire wings.
But her wings are made of water, not fire.
They are blue.
Oh, but yeah, they
Yeah.
are blue.
Yeah.
I was about to look up, like, okay, which anime character has blue wings?
Yeah. No, I was thinking of Lapis. Yes. Were you gonna say something?
I was thinking about the stuff with Rin.
Oh, okay. Well, Momo, you mentioned this a few times on Twitter, but you think that Rin is gonna like get like certain furry features added to him.
Well, because like Amaimon has big slappy lizard hands and a big lizard tail, so Rin should have like big slappy cat paws. Or something of the like.
He's gonna become a cat man.
Destiny.
I think if any character would become a Catman, it would be Konokomaru.
He is the cat man. He is already transcended. He is already there, fam.
True.
The ultimate cat man.
Yeah, but
Yeah, just like cool like claws or something, and maybe
little
some
horns.
Yeah, like more defined horns.
Yeah, like he has like the flame horns, but you should get some real horns.
Cause like
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's gotta look fancy with those horns of his.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You know the seals in the back of the first 10 volumes that shows like the characters' emblems.
Yeah.
Rin's ones, it has a very like stylistic flame. I'm guessing that's what his horns are gonna look like more so.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, I didn't think
That is a
about
good
that.
point because it's I didn't even think about that either. I was just like,
I have like a cookie tin that has like a bunch of the characters' seals on it, so
Oh, that's
I see
awesome.
them quite often. But yeah, they're just like very like soul shaped, I guess. You know, like the souls in Soul Eater. They're kind of like that big.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Based on some Buddhist symbolism. Let me look that up.
That makes me more curious.
Talking about.
Not on the same subject, but that makes me more curious about Shiami's secret because hers was like some ardent thing.
Oh, hers is I got it right here. It's a leaf with a little man in it, and then it's a bunch of flowers. And then in the middle there is a plant surrounded by thorns. It's in like a thorn circle.
Ooh.
That probably has something to do with the Amahara garden. I swear.
We're still far away from Shiami's secret. We'll get there one day.
We're getting there because I have a lot of ideas.
Speaking
I
of,
have a lot of theories on Jimmy. I really do.
you and Grace both have like so many theories.
Grace is a mess and has.
Yeah. When it came to like the whole theorization of what her power could have been with more what Satan was like, what an interesting girl. It's more or less I'm like, What you looking at, bro? Are you looking at little girls? Or are you?
Oh God.
He's not against taking what's not his.
Yes.
Who's gonna
Even
attack?
if it has to do with his son's liking her. I don't want to think about that. I'm gonna die.
Well,
We're gonna talk about the Shiemi Defense Squad.
Oh.
Gonna
About
fight
what
God.
those symbols actually correspond with in Buddhism, because I just found the post on the Blue Knight forum that I was thinking of, if that's alright.
Okay.
yeah.
So Mephistos is based on the parasol, which stands for protection, and is based on the wheel of Dharma and knowledge. Yukio's is actually the lotus flower of purity and enlightenment, and Rin's, which is the one we were talking about with the kind of the cool horn thing going on, is closer to is the conch shell, which just stands for thoughts of Buddha. I don't know exactly how that could be interpreted, but let's see. Bond's is endless harmony. Renzo's, Shima's is conjugal happiness and freedom.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Looking for Nekomaru's
Yeah.
is victorious battle. Go Kanekomaru. Well, the only one that's not really covered is Kuro's in the place of the treasure vase of treasure and wealth, but it's just his paw print. But it's in the same placeholder, so I don't know.
That's awesome.
Oh, Shiami's is gorgeous. A little surprised she didn't get the lotus flower, but alright.
Speaking of Shiami, in this chapter, she basically tried to stop Yukio from leaving, and Seiden had something interesting to say about her, and then Yukio's just like, nope, not happening, go bye.
Bye.
So
Yeah, I remember that me and Grace were like talking about theories on Twitter like just a couple of days ago, wasn't it? About the fact that it might be the power that he's seeking within her. But then I also wanted to theorize that she has simulations with Yuri as to what we've seen her character so far.
oh, cool. Yeah, there are like a lot of similarities between her and Yuri.
Yeah, I was thinking at first, I'm like, maybe she could be like, what was it? Reincarnation, but Grace was all like, wait, that's a little weird, and I'm like, well, she could be a reincarnation, but she's a reincarnation. However, she's not the exact same person.
I guess the timing would work if she died in childbirth.
The timing would have worked but Shiami was born 3 months later after the boys were, so.
Right.
Which knocks out the clone theory, by the way.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't believe Shiami's a clone.
Yeah, neither do I.
Yeah.
So, I'm just a little upbeat on the whole, she's got so many similar characteristics to Yuri, and that's why Rin has like a special kind of feeling towards her, as well as Yukio, because yeah, they're the son of Satan.
Support this because that means she can't be with Rin, so, or can she? I don't know, that'd just be weird.
Well, it's not too weird, like, she does have similarities, but she's still technically not the same person. It's like saying Kikyo and Kagome are the same people, but they're not.
I think supposed to be like the Avatar, I guess.
Yeah, yes, sort of like that, maybe. But yeah, Kikyo and Kagome don't have like similarities on characteristics. but they are reincarnated. Whereas Yuri and Shiemi have similar personalities and characteristics, and yet they're not related in any kind of way at this point.
I just don't think we've seen enough of Yuri yet. Like, we literally had that one scene where Shura's like, "Happy birthday, boys! I'm gonna tell you about your mom."
Dot.
Well, they were kind of freaked out for like 2 seconds. They're like, "Sure, what are you doing?"
Sexy pause.
Right.
Might as well. And then Yukio's all like, "Tell me more," and Walburn's all like, "Nah."
He was like, nope.
What kind of idiot would care about that?
Yeah.
On the
Yeah.
on the other thought on the whole Yuri thing, it's like just on the thought of if Shiemi reminded Satan of her, it'd be like, I think it's like from what someone said on the Blue Knight, they were saying that Satan was kind of poking fun at Yukio is why he mentioned it.
Right.
It's like there is also a possibility if she reminded him instinctively of Yuri, more of a, my son's the same type as me.
Yeah.
More in a joking type thing, but
Yeah, that's a good point.
the other thought is more so, oh, that's interesting. I wasn't expecting that. Demons don't have a perspective of love. She cares immensely about his kids, willing to do anything for those kids. Shiemi kind of, with that, makes her kind of a unexpected... Where's the word I'm looking for? Easily get in the way of his plans because she wasn't calculated for.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and then the possibility of sensing her power. It's like there could be a dual meaning behind Satan's thing, because it's like even if there's a possibility of him making the comment to tease Yukio, there's also the dual meaning of, oh, she's interesting. Interesting can mean that while meaning something else, like, but it's just kind of, it's definitely foreshadowing there more than just the teasing joke, because there's got to be something with that for Satan to make notice at all, even if it's in a teasing way, for her upcoming arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's gotta, I guess, foreshadow something that's gonna come up.
Mm-hmm. I like to put it as she's going to be a kind of a wild card in Satan's plans of what he's planning to do for Yukio, because he's not going to be able to.
Right.
Not with her there.
Yeah. Well, since she's technically no longer an exorcist for her own personal reasons, I feel like that she's gonna build up her power, and then her power is gonna let loose, or she's not gonna realize that she has that certain type of power, and it's just gonna be released out of emotion later on.
Right.
Next chapter. I just wanted to help Rid.
Well, because in the Kyoto arc, Izumo notices that she's got a magnificent amount of energy within her powers, and she's the first one who's actually noticed Shimi having that. So that was more of another foreshadowing for the upcoming arcs.
That's true.
Yeah. Especially because when she was Shami was trying to rescue Izumo, she almost died, like, using Ni to rescue her. But she had, like, a lot of, like, power in her that Izumo was really quick to recognize.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just gonna be one of those big wild cards that's gonna play in and be like placed in later on. And then people who like look down at her character is gonna realize, oh shit, she's not as bad of character as everybody else.
Right.
So. Just say
Anybody who calls her a bad character isn't a real Blue Exorcist fan. I'm sorry.
Right?
Yeah, true.
Right?
That's true.
Each character has their own personal uniqueness.
And then when it comes to the whole argument of calling Shiemi weak to begin with, it's like, excuse you, this girl has only been rescued it's like maybe even twice. Her first introduction and something that was out of her control when the whole Maiman thing happened. She has saved them way more than she's ever been saved the entire time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because Izumo has been saved more times than Shiemi has.
Izumo's the princess.
Conflict.
I really do.
Other princess in shining armor.
Conflict. There is someone there who compliments or indirectly compliments how well Shiemi did, saying like, "Oh, if she didn't do this, we would have been toast," or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like it would have been if somebody complimented Shiemi. It's more or less it's gonna be not only Rin, but then we've also got Bon, because Bon is that type of character that acknowledges people. Has that certain way of acknowledging you. But based on how he sees you as a character, how he sees you with your personality, what type of power you have, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
That's why I like Bon a lot.
Yeah, Bon is great.
Bon's also great about when he makes a judgment of someone. It's like his first opinion of them. If he realizes they change, going straight up to them and telling them the fact that he's noticed that they've changed and that his opinion of them's completely changed too.
Like he's a very honest child.
Yes. I think I wanted to bring up something about the chapter. So Yukio finally joins the Illuminati. So, which we all knew was going to happen.
It was kind of obvious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it looks like Shima isn't really coming back this time either.
Shima.
That kind of made me depressed. When Shima decided, I'm just gonna follow along with the Illuminati, because it's so fun. But Shima's that type of character who cares about his friends in a way.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. He's more like a tsundere, but
more of a tsundere than
way. Yes.
It's
like perfect for each other.
Yeah. The funny thing is, the way he hides things is pretend like he's all flirty and easygoing about everything. He doesn't care. In a different way, versus with like usually how tsunderes are. It's like, it's like they have a hard personality around them. Versus it's like his facade is more of a just acting like he doesn't give a crap.
Exactly.
And
that's true. Which makes me theorize on what he might do in the future, where it's so like, I've just been easygoing kind of thing in front of you guys, where I feel like he's gonna be more of like, he's gonna end up sacrificing himself. Not saying he's gonna die or anything like that. I'm just more or less sacrificing himself by protecting, like a certain character, aka thinking either it could be Rin, it could be Izumo, it could be Shimi, just to prove his worth and see that there's still good in him.
Right.
It's more of like he thinks of it as a game at this moment to what we've seen.
See, that's the part where his facade comes in, because it's like the reason he joined the Illuminati and the reason he is how he is because of family expectations.
Yeah.
And wanting to be his own person and be away from all that. The standards that he's being told, it's like to hold up to these standards for some person that died that everyone's expecting him to respect so much that he wasn't even he was a baby. He won't even remember his brother who died, and he's expected to uphold this honor that he doesn't even understand.
Exactly.
Come from a family of 6 kids, I can actually relate with Shima a lot in that, actually. it's like being one of the younger kids. It's like, and you have all these expectations on your shoulder of what you're expected to do. If your family screws up, it's like if somebody else in your family screws up, it comes on your shoulders. Or how you need to be just like them. You have to be just as great. And you're just like, what if I don't want to? What if I just want to be me?
Yeah, exactly. Like they have this ideal vision that they see you as. So that's what they're gonna envision themselves into seeing you. And so they expect more than what's given.
Right.
Yeah. It's like that's where his and Yukio's stories actually kind of are similar. It is about acceptance for both of them.
Right.
Being who they are, not who everyone wants them to be.
Yeah, exactly. Even though, like, when it comes to Yukio, just, in a way, he does want to be accepted for who he wants to be. And yet, he doesn't realize that Rin, who's been there, who's seen him grow up, knows who he is to a certain perspective, because he tends to hide. He tends to, like, hide his true characteristics, even for his brother, even though Rin's really pretty much suspected some kind of things already. Yukio just, yeah.
You see, that's where the hard part for Yukio is. He's convinced himself because of bad personality traits that he hates so much about himself. Not even these are not villain traits. That's the big point that a lot of things Yukio keeps misinterpreting about himself. Mm-hmm. His whole of him being selfish, self-obsessed, and just angry. He takes those as instantly being bad personality traits and not being as good as everyone else. The thing is, he has to be able to be somewhere where he can embrace that and accept it and learn that him being kind and all the other personality traits that he has are not fake. They are all a part of him. And that's why he has to leave and become part of the Illuminati. He has to be able to fully be himself to find that good.
Yeah, I think it's just because, like, he's been blinded, no pun intended, by what others' perceptions of him were and who they wanted him to be, and he's never really had, I guess, any time to figure out what he wants to do for himself, because it was Shiro who pushed him to be an exorcist. It was Toto who was kind of, I guess, forcing him to figure out the secrets behind his powers and his birth and things like that. And it's just like people expected more out of him than I think he. Well, I mean, it's not like he wasn't able to do those things fine, because he was actually a really accomplished student, and
It was too much pressure for a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah, it is too much pressure. It's a lot of pressure to put on a kid.
Yeah. Especially with how Yukio was raised and stuff like that. So, he's just like, what's the word exactly? He's I can't even think of the word, but where basically he's all like, guess what? I'm not gonna follow the rules. No rules. Guess what? I'm going to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Rebelling?
Yeah, there you go. He's a rebel. Now we just need to like make him look like a punk, and then it'll be perfect.
I drew a picture of Yukio with sunglasses on, looking all tough.
And
I'll have to post that.
And I think also he crap. I lost my train of thought. He needs to be away from Rin, and Rin needs to be away from him. Just because, like I mentioned this, yesterday when we recorded this before all shit hit the fan, but their relationship, I know a lot of people don't want to admit it because they wanted them to reconcile at least, and I wasn't expecting any sort of reconciliation between them because they're both really stubborn in their own ways, but their relationship is really toxic right now.
That is.
Yeah.
They also hinder each other.
Yes.
Exactly. Just like they look up to each other, but more or less they look down on each other.
Yeah.
It's like the thing is, their perspective of what's perfect is what is causing the issues, and they can't fix themselves if they're sitting there focusing on each other and what they think's perfect and what they don't have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thing when it comes to Rin, to a point, it's like he should have seen some of this coming, but he was too busy blinding him. It's when you're that close when you think you're that close and you know someone, you do this. I have personal experience with that recently. I'm not going to get into that clearly on here, but when you think you're that close, it's really easy to convince yourself. It's really easy to blind yourself to something because you don't want to see it, even when you're trying to help.
Yeah.
Rin could have prevented a lot of this if he reevaluated the situation and who Yukio was the moment he realized the entire time they were growing up. When Yukio mentioned the fact he was an exorcist and he knew about everything, he should have reevaluated the situation that the Yukio I know, not necessarily is a facade, but there is more than I know. There's more than what I knew was going on. So his big error he made was assuming that Yukio's problem he's having was a recent thing and not something that's always been there since they were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I in a way, another kind of theory that I want to based on, where they're gonna still understand each other. I feel like there might be an arc where Rin may look into the memories of Yukio, or if it might happen, it might go the other way around, where they will understand each other's views and see what they are as actual people. I can't say exactly human beings because they aren't technically full-on human beings.
Yeah.
Funny thing, mentioning that, we've actually seen more on Yukio's past than we ever had on Rin, the entire manga.
Yeah.
That's true.
We know more about Yukio than we do Rin. In perspective, Rin was a very happy kid. They showed that from most flashbacks. It's like, besides the fact of kids at school, what turned him into the person he was in chapter 1, where he basically wanted nothing to do with anybody.
Yeah,
he clearly was
confused me because he's such a happy guy who wants to make friends. So what was that, like, middle school era where he was some loner punk guy?
It's like, because that's clearly not Rin, whatever it was that caused him to get to that point. Like, it's in his nature to be sweet and kind, and just what hurt him so much to get to the point where he closed himself off from caring about anybody. He's, in the first chapter, he's beating up these kids because they were hurting birds. It's like that's not someone who doesn't care. It's someone who chooses to pretend like they don't.
Right.
And something got him to that point.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be that certain era, because when Rin and Yukio were kids, they were still technically really, really close to the point, and their personas were Yukio being the shy, weak child, while Rin is the outgoing child that had little to no care in the world. I feel like maybe to that point, Yukio closed him off during his middle school year, it's not to the point of where they never really communicated, but more or less to hide the fact that he wanted to become an exorcist to protect Rin, but also because he was forced into that, like peer pressure kind of thing. So,
Right.
So Rin, we don't have his true backstory of like when he was in middle school, and I feel like we're gonna probably run into that very soon. Maybe it also plays the part of why he doesn't want to learn about his real mother, also.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I feel like it could be that.
There's something
that's
deeper
why-
with that.
Mm-hmm.
Since that's mentioned in at all, if you go back to chapter 1, Rin it's like for some reason he has abandonment issues. And I kind of think that plays back into him not wanting to know about his mom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know about everything with their past and about being the sons of Satan and everything. For all he knew, his parents were dead or they abandoned him and Yukio.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that would explain partially why he didn't really give a crap. His real dad is Fujimoto. As far as why does he want to know about someone that just got rid of them or died? It's easier just to think about, hey, I have this family. Why do I need to know about this?
Yeah.
That's exactly true.
But also internally, that kind of, in certain ways, it's like when Fujimoto, he felt like he was leaving him, brought out the whole, oh, you're leaving me too. It's like, I'm not good enough.
True.
I'm too screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. With between the whole point with the whole Fujimoto, I feel like because Fujimoto technically did know who Rin and Yukio's mother was, I feel like there might have been a point where he kind of heard certain things that he did not want to hear, that also plays a part of being abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's just gonna be mentioned more later on in the series.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I mean, let's be real here. Yukio does have a lot more to work on than Rin.
Oh yeah,
that's very
definitely.
true.
Yeah.
But there's definitely places, character development pieces there for Rin to. It's like things to be able to tackle that he thinks they're completely gone aren't really.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying because, like, I know a lot of people like to compare Rin's faults to Yukio's, and it's, I think Yukio's, Rin has, at least tried to make progress and, his own personal growth, and I know he has a lot more to work on, and he has his faults, but I think Yukio, the problem with Yukio is that he doesn't really know how to confide in anybody, and he does, and it just leads to his own self-destruction, and especially with seeing what happened in chapter 93 when he tried to kill himself. It's sort of just like it's parallel to when Rin was contemplating suicide at one point too, but it shows that Rin has made progress with his own, his own journey to love himself and realize that he does have his friends to be there for him. Whereas Yukio is convinced that he doesn't have anybody to rely on.
Yeah. It comes to, it's like Rin, it's like his support system is a little bit different than Yukio's. It's like, now that's because he's willing to open up. I think it's what Moto did in the chapter. It's like all those things. It's like a lot of stuff I mentioned. It's like he was able to open up and be the happy person he used to be because he wanted to do better by Fujimoto, because he gave up his life for him. And so he took that, instead of making it negative and acting out, he took it as I'm going to do anything I can to respect the sacrifice that was given for me.
Mm-hmm.
So he turned that into a positive of trying his best.
If you look at it, I know that Naruto is like one thing to compare to, but it does show the similarities of Yukio's character towards and Rin's character to the main characters in Naruto. I know I should not be mentioning that, but there's a lot of comparison because there is sacrificial moments. Like, for example, Fujimoto sacrificing himself to protect Rin, while as to Iruka sacrificing himself to protect Naruto, if you understand what I mean.
Right.
And then Sasuke turning into, hey, I'm just gonna go and leave the village. It just shows it that. And then there was like if you watch the anime till the point before they started doing the books, the novels, they added more into before they woke up, and Sasuke has this moment where he says, oh, everybody keeps joining him. Everybody keeps joining him. People keep leaving me. People keep leaving me. I'm getting lonelier and lonelier kind of thing. So it's kind of given me that kind of idea with Yukio and Rin.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and I guess the point I was trying to get at was, Yukio does show signs of having, some sort of mental illness, and I can't really, I guess, pinpoint what it is, because it could be a mix of depression or anxiety. But I feel like people, I don't want to name names or anything, but I just feel like, this is more of a general observation of what people do in real life than of Yukio's character. But basically, people just try to use mental illness as an excuse for bad behavior when it's really not an excuse. Just, even if you have any of these issues with you going on, that, you need to work on yourself, and that's fine. But don't use it as a way to condone bad behavior. Yeah. Especially Yukio. Mm-hmm. Because, yeah, he does have some sort of mental illness. He does show signs of it. He's done bad things. But I wouldn't be afraid to call him out on doing those bad things and not defending him because, he has depression. He's just, you see where I'm getting at.
You can understand it without justifying the action, the meaning. You can understand it without justifying his action.
Yeah. So, that's. I guess that's where the whole thing connects to him joining the Illuminati, because he's still not doing the right thing at this point.
The funny thing when it comes to Yukio, it's like my whole thing with his acceptance thing, I think it leads into his redemption too. I kind of mentioned some of this yesterday, but since it kind of needs to be repeated anyways, I'm going to go into a little bit of it. Yukio, I think ultimately, he's going to be the one to save himself. I know people see Shiemi as his light. It's like, I have my own it's like, I have my own personal issues for where I come from with not being big on the idea of Shiemi being the one to save him. That goes back into it's not every female character's job to fix some guy.
Yeah.
It's like helping, but it's like a lot of it, Shiemi's his light and fixes, kind of goes back into reasons I don't ship specific things. But it's not an insult to Yukio because it's like I want him to get help, but I don't think it should be on Shiami's shoulders to do it because there is self-destructive things that go with it with Shiami. When she can't fix a problem, she blames herself. She never blames the person for what it is. It's always her fault in her brain. Her character development, if she does this, it hinders her because part of her development is learning to accept you did the best you could. You did what you could. You are strong, and accepting her self-doubt, being able to get over it. If she's in a situation where she is someone's light and that's the only reason they are good or they are improving themselves, and it's dependent on her to where she is literally a crutch, it's going to hinder her because she's not going to do what she wants. She's going to constantly put herself out there to do whatever she can for them, and when it fails or something falls apart because of their mental illness or everything that's going on with them, she's going to blame herself, not them.
Exactly.
Where her and Rin kind of complement each other in terms of their helping each other because they don't hinder each other. They actually push each other to do better. Their flaws, it's kind of a give and take because they do push each other, which is with Yukio, it'd be completely, it's like Shiami is good for him, but he is not good for her. And in a way, it hinders him too because he'd be solely dependent on someone and not doing things for himself, and which is actually one of his problems he has. He doesn't like depending on others.
Yeah.
He hates it. He hates feeling like he's dependent on others. So it's like, and he lashes out when it comes to, so I'm not saying he hurt Shiami. Never intentionally. We clearly saw that even with what he did.
He obviously regretted doing what, shoving her in the first place.
He has a soft spot for her, but if he ever hurt her, he'd hate himself. And we saw what happened when something happened. He tried to kill himself.
Yeah.
I think, ultimately, what I think would be the best option, it's like, and what I think is going to happen, Yukio will turn around. He will do good in the end. Yeah. I do not think it's going to be because of Rin. I don't think it's going to be because of Shiami, and I don't think it's because, it's like those are all going to be aspects, yes, people he cares about, but it's because he pulls himself out of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Because I think that's what he's going to do. The good is in him. He just has to see it. And he has to be able to do it himself because that's what Todo couldn't do. He gave into his darkness and you want to prove, it's like Todo's trying to say, you're like me, you're like me. Yukio it's like in the end pulling, no, I'm not like you, I'm me. And proving that he's stronger than he let other people think he is, and he let himself think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All good points.
Yep.
Because I believe he is stronger than that, and he can do it. And I'm not saying everyone helping him is a hindrance, but ultimately, it has to be him that pulls himself out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It may take a slap or two, but he's gonna realize it, and he's gonna pull himself out.
Yeah. He needs, I guess I said this yesterday too. There is a difference between, having independent growth with the support of people around you to grow, and having someone force you to change and grow when you really need to be doing that at your own pace.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what I would hate if, Shiami would be used as a character for her, because she is so much more than that.
She is.
Yeah.
Part of Yukio. Go ahead. Sorry.
And she needs to grow on her own too. They all need to grow on their own. So.
Which ultimately, them splitting up the trio, technically being apart from each other. Yukio leaving, it also makes it where Rin and Shiami can both grow individually, just like he needs to. Because they have to be apart for that to happen. She needed to see who Yukio truly is to figure out what to do from here. Yeah. She has to accept, I can't fix this time. It's not my fault. What happened? I love Bon and his whole, when she's sitting there blaming herself, him instantly just being like, it's not your fault, Moriyama. Because it's just like, he tried to shoot me in the face. It's not your fault that he shoved you.
Another reason why I love him. He has such a cute and sensitive side.
Mm-hmm.
He does.
Not many people recognize that for Bond's character. They just see him as like a rough player.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so sweet.
He is. He is such a sweetheart. And then
Yeah,
I had
really
like
is.
second thoughts. I had second thoughts on shipping Bond with Izumo just by the whole how sweet he is. But then I'm like, I feel like it's more of like an attribute with Shima in Izumo. So that's why I feel like there's gonna be a female character that's gonna be introduced later on who's gonna recognize Bond's true characteristics and love him for who he is because
As I sit over here, my corner, shipping Bon and Izumo. I'm trash. I'm trash. There's very few people that ships them to begin with. Sorry.
No, because I had second thoughts of shipping Bond and Izumo, but I don't feel like Izumo's character represents Bond, and it's not like it's like he's one half and there's the other half, and I don't feel like their puzzles like click together. I feel like there's gonna be a female character that's gonna be introduced that we're gonna recognize and we're gonna fall in love for. And so, that's probably going to be more of an introduction near where Bon is, so.
Think about
Yeah.
that.
One of Mamushi's sisters.
Mamushi's sisters said that.
Oh yeah,
Think
like
about them.
yeah.
Somehow marry all the Hojo sisters.
Hey! I
Yeah.
like the Hojo sisters.
I was thinking that who would want to bang Toto, and then I thought of Mamushi, because she did at one point.
Oh, dang.
Ah, dang! Man,
Poor girl.
there's an image in my head that I did not want to see. Thank you very much.
I'm sorry, but I am not sorry.
Render the who would bang Toto conversation irrelevant because clearly Mamushi saw that he was a good enough sensei or whatever, that he was somebody worth helping and betraying her family for.
Yep.
That's
there
true.
was something there at some point.
Even if it was manipulation, but hey, it was there.
Even if it was manipulation.
I didn't need these images in my head for tonight.
I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry.
Of course you're not sorry.
You know, kids and their crushes on weird teachers like Toto. Why?
You see a lot of animes like that.
Oh, yeah.
Sensei, notice me, Sensei! I want your...
Sensei's...
Notice me, Sensei!
Sensei's gonna be considered a very bad thing if you keep going after him, child. So...
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
there you go.
so
Don't fall for the sweet act, man. Don't ever fall for that.
So going back to chapter 11, Mephisto recovered quite quickly.
Mephisto, the... Oh, I don't want to miss anything. Thank God I didn't miss anything. Mephisto. Boy, just stop.
Yeah. Because
That's all I remember.
go. Satan is here. Oh, yeah.
Hey, Daddy, what's up?
Oh, yeah. Lucifer's comment about bringing Satan to him. I should bring that up, too. Because that's interesting.
Yeah, that
I
is.
knew that. It is interesting. I feel like that it was foreshadowed that there was going to be a point when Satan was going to technically make his own way towards Yukio.
Yeah. But I feel like ultimately he's going to be using Rin as a vessel for him.
Try to.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna try to do.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
For the sake of dramatic tension, he's gonna succeed briefly.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll stay that way though.
True story.
So weird how many fanfics I've come across over the years where we have the Satan possessed Rin fighting the X-Wires.
Headcanon confirmed at this point.
Yep.
I've always kind of feared that's what it was, and then it kind of happened. It's like, oh, yep, there it is. The only good thing out of that whole conversation was Satan confirmed that Rin's body is not deteriorating or anything like that, and he's just like, by the way, you're basically going through demon puberty, so...
Happy birthday!
Rin, holy crap, I'm gonna die, I hate everything.
A basic teenager with experiencing acne, except it's not acne, it's your skin's just kinda burning off, man. No piggy.
It's like bad news. It's gonna hurt like hell. Good news, you're not gonna die.
You can't technically die if you're gonna become my vessel, if you know what I mean.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to become Satan's vessel.
Oh gosh. Oh, I thought of something.
Yes.
See, it's like I pointed this out before, but blah 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 blah. You know the drill on why we don't have it in here already.
Right. Because my computer fucked up.
Oh, well.
We tried everything. Anyways. The Rin, it's like Satan communicating with Rin and Yukio. It's like communicating through Yukio. Back in the Kyoto Saga, or Kyoto Arc, whatever you prefer to call it. Kyoto Arc, Impure King Arc, there's tons of names for it, we're not going to get into that. Anyways. Back during that, there's this part where Yukio, in his brain or something like that, yells or he screams Rin's name, and Rin can hear it from far away.
Yeah.
It's kind of like their telepathy thing. It's like twin telepathy type thing. I think that's what it was going for, / demon telepathy thing.
Yeah.
Connection because of who they are. That has never been brought up again. Yukio has Satan in his eye. Rin and Yukio were able to communicate back then. Satan is able to communicate through Yukio to Rin. There it is.
Yep.
Demon telepathy.
There it is. It's probably brought back into play with that.
The demon telepathy's back.
Could have been having to do with Satan, why Rin was able to hear Yukio back then. Or it could just be that, and that's why Satan's able to talk to them both.
Yeah.
Right now. Because of that connection between them.
Which kind of brings back up on the whole Star Wars series right there, with the recent film on having that certain telepathy.
Oh,
yeah. Talk to one another.
Rey and Kylo.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing right there. Is that what we're going to probably see in the future? Except it's not going to be Star Wars. It's going to be demon telepathy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's kind of like that, yeah. Just so you guys know, Momo had to leave, so they're going to bed, so we're going to continue on without them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was I say? I know a lot of people have been wondering about if that was ever going to be brought up again. It's like, but I think this was basically it. It's like the other demons can sense it. They're sensing Satan. I'm not sure they can hear him. Is the one thing. It's like, because the rest of them are just like, don't interfere, blah, blah, blah. They know Satan's there in Yukio's eye, but I'm not sure they can actually communicate or not. We didn't get really confirmation in this chapter. I guess we'll find out. Which
kind of brings up the fact with, I can't think, Kuro. how he has telepathy. He can speak to Rin by his
Mhm.
mind, but nobody else can hear him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, this makes it definitely unique. It's like Rin, we know that he... Yukio, on the other hand, typically cannot, but he can hear Satan, and Rin can hear him because of Yukio, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, I could be wrong on all this, but I'm just kind of, it's like, this is something I pieced back together, kind of. It's like, I'm still just like, you know.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I mentioned that before, and I figured better get it in here for...
Yeah. It's definitely something to mention. I think another thing I guess, as, I wanted to mention that we mentioned the last time was that, the interactions between Amaimon and Shiami.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like, Shiami kicking Amaimon.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting because, like, now Amaimon is, like, he and Mephisto are basically, like, I know Amaimon is just willingly, not willing there, but being forced to be there because Mephisto ordered him to be there. But, yeah, it's just interesting that they're both just so, they're just seeing everything play out as, like, a show for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta watch my next comedy show, man.
It's like, this is the best Netflix show ever.
Right there.
Speaking of, it's like a Maimon, how hard he kicked Shiami. There's got to be something up with her if she was able to withstand that, and she barely flinched.
And then Bon and Izumo trying to stab him, and Bon just, like, squishing his cheeks. That was so funny.
Oh my gosh.
It's all like, why are you hitting a girl? How dare you? Izumo. He's like, don't you dare hit a girl. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, nap. Darn it. That was not what I was trying to say. Yeah, interrupt the whole entire thing to say snap and darn it. That's clearly not the thing. The only reason Amaimon was probably holding back is because he can't kill anybody by Mephisto's orders, so that's the only reason he let them squish his face like that and to just retaliate and kill them.
He only has fun unless he kills people.
Yep.
True.
He wants to kill everybody, but they won't let him.
Mm-hmm.
Sad face.
Yep.
Maimon making sad face. Him making sad faces, but why can't I kill him?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but why? It's all like, because it's bad for you. It's like a 5-year-old asking for candy and getting told no.
Yeah, basically.
Why fight? Because.
It's all like, why can't I have a popsicle? Because I said so.
But why can't I kill them all?
But why can't I kill them all?
Because you'll be grounded if you do that. But why? I used to be allowed to kill them all the time. I don't understand.
Amaimon, you be a good demon and behave.
Big Brother Mephisto's mean.
Demon.
Big Brother Mephisto's mean. It's like Dad always let me kill people.
Well, when you're grounded, go to your room.
You're grounded.
The equivalent of going to your... Maimon deciding he's gonna go to someone else and be like, can I kill people? I'll work with you now if you let me kill people.
Mm-hmm.
Can I work with you?
Please?
Please? I swear.
Okay, so I think we covered pretty much everything in the chapter. Unless I missed anything.
The only thing I had was Rin busting in flames and Rin yelling for them to stay back.
Oh, yeah.
And Shiami literally reaching for him, and the fact that it's like, and then he started, it's like, okay, me being me, I'm going to notice every little detail of things with Rin and Shiemi, because I overanalyze, and this is just me. You guys got to deal with it. If you're in the podcast and hearing me speak, I will mention every little detail of interactions between Rin and Shiemi. This is me.
It's all good. It's all good.
Shiemi, it's like yes, Rin put that warning for everybody, but most of them are smart enough to stay back because they've never dealt with his flames before. Shiemi's not afraid of Rin's flames. Rin knows that. She knows that, and he has no control over this. So of course he's going to warn that. Of course he was warning it the first time because of everybody. Shiemi, even after his warning, tried to lean forward, and it's like she was literally reaching out for him. Then he started yelling, no. It's like, I'm sure it had to do with the pain he was going through, but he was yelling no again. And you see Izumo pulling her back. It's like, it's the second warning, I think, was because Shiemi was still trying to get to him.
Right, yeah. That's a good point.
It is a good point.
The rest of them weren't trying to reach forward. She was.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no other reason.
Well, with her, as her character grows, she's still trying to learn the whole ways of how can I really love somebody, how can I love myself, all that kind of stuff. Whereas when her and Rin having certain interactions built up their relationship to a point, and she not only is not afraid of the flames like you mentioned, she's fallen in love with his flames. She thinks that they're beautiful. Instead of fearing them, she sees them as beauty.
Right,
so
yeah.
That's true.
So with Shimi's, how she is as a character, seeing her reach out to Rin, that wasn't really surprising on my part, because not only does she has like a really deep affection for him. She has a deep affection of understanding him. She does not want, and that's not only did she fall in love with his flames, she fell in love with him. So, I mean, like, it's pretty obvious.
Oh, it is. The thing is, Rin knows her enough to know he had to warn that because he knows how she sees his flames.
Exactly, because of the whole Kyoto arc. I was like, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of your flames. And
then
you get to see him cry for the first time, right?
Yeah.
And then chapter 73, I think it's chapter 73, I should remember this by heart at this point. When she's literally like, I like you, I like your flames, and pretty much being like, it's warm and soothing, telling him all that. It's like it's like a big part of that that's important to me is no one's ever told him that before.
Right.
And that's such a big deal for him, because it's like this thing that's a big insecurity for him. She tells him she loves it about him.
Right, yeah.
And right now, usually he'd be fine with her going forward, that he can protect her, but he doesn't know what's going on. He does not want to hurt her. It's like, the thing is, she wants to protect him. She's seeing him yelling out in pain. She's worried to death. She wants to do anything she can to stop it. It's like, so of course she's going to run without thinking in to try and help him. It's like, she's not afraid of a single thing about Rin. She trusts him so much that she doesn't even think about the fact that there's a danger that's going with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that she's reckless, but when it comes to Rin, there's some recklessness that goes into that a little bit, but that has to do with her blind faith in, it's not completely blind, but her faith in Rin.
Right, yeah.
Exactly.
That no one else, it's like, not that they don't trust him, they care deeply about Rin, but they are able to recognize this is a dangerous situation. They haven't dealt with his flames, they don't know all about that.
Yeah.
But she does.
Yeah, and the reason behind is that there was no real, she's not a threat, but later on she's going to become a threat. But not in like the more negative negative part, more like a more positive into protecting Rin. And even though Yukio needing to build himself up, in a way protecting Yukio. It may not be physically, but it could be mentally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's
Chiami's
like, actually...
characters...
Yeah.
Yeah, so Chiami's character is just one of those most unique characters. I don't even see why some people don't like her. She's just she's a very unique character.
For her type of character, it's like out of all the sweet female, it's like of the character type she is. I don't think I can name a single one that is as well developed and so fleshed out the way Chiami's character is done. It's like, and it's like I typically end up liking the sweet female characters, but even with that, it's like I can't name a single one that is to the level of of Chiami's character development and everything.
There are couples that I've read and I've watched that I've seen that has similarities to Chiami's character. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember them right off the bat, but there are certain characters that are similar into her. Whatchamacallit? Give me a second. I can't remember her name. But I'm going into the whole Gurren Lagann.
Oh, Nia?
Yes, Nia.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Nia and Chiami share similar.
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that, actually.
Clarity.
Yeah.
It's like you see the sweet characters in there, and I've noticed a few of them, but there's some that aren't well built up. As to like, there's certain characters you notice that are pretty built up, like Chiami and Nia. And
right. Yeah, that's basically what I was trying to say. It's like it's hard to find ones that are done to this level of you can tell the author is going somewhere with their character. She's not just a supporting character. She's not there just to.
Mm-hmm.
She's not depending on others for her character arc. She's not just a love interest. She is a love interest, but her sole purpose in the series is not to be a love interest. She is her own character, which is completely possible. That's the difference between good writing with romance and bad writing, is when a character exists just to be a love interest, that's bad writing. But when you can be a love interest and that not be your sole purpose and it be well written.
Mm-hmm. There's another character, Ochako.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My Hero Academia.
Yes. So Ochako, she's not only a love interest, she's also building up as her character grows. So there's some similarities in certain.
Oh, yeah,
definitely.
They have a lot of similarities. I noticed that instantly right off the bat. I'm like, well, I know who my favorite character in this series is.
Well, Suyu and Bakugo are my favorite characters. Not minusing the fact that I do love Dabi and Toga, but I just have that kind of interest in those certain characters. But Midoriya doesn't have like the the similarity to Rin, but you can still see the sweet side of him to what Rin is. And then Ochako, she's got that airy kind of feeling, but she's a very strong character, just like Chiami is.
Yeah. Definitely. Also, one thing to note about what if Shonen Jump will load because it is being done right now. Kato put a thank you note at the end of this week's issue.
I can get it to load. I have it up on my...
Yeah. And
I can get to that.
No, it's loading now. I got it.
Okay.
It was just being dumb for like 2 seconds. Okay, so she just said Happy New Year for 2018. I want to pace myself. So we're going to move on to the next part of the podcast because we really need to wrap up because Mindy needs to go. So, Uh, hold on one second before we continue. But yeah, for chapter 9, we're getting closer to the 100 chapter mark. The 100 chapter mark. Because we have about 2 more chapters. So I wonder what they're going to be doing for the next arc. Not the next arc. The next milestone for the chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the next arc, because Beyond the Snow's wrapping up. But anyway, we need to move forward with the next part of the podcast. So.
Okay.
All right. So, Mindy, I know you have to go, and you could just, I guess, say your notes really quick about the stage play. So.
Okay, give me a second here.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, the first thing I'll note, everybody's got their cover of volume 13. One thing that I didn't really notice until I got to the stage play is that Lucifer's got a significantly shinier uniform than everybody else. If you take a look, his is a little lighter, but in the stage play, they decided to give the rest of the Illuminati pretty straightforward kind of military drab, but his is just shiny aqua satin.
Yeah, I mean that's really cool because he is the king of light, so
He's also extra.
He fell from the heavens, man.
He's the most extra little thing in the world, I swear.
Did you fall from heaven? Because that's what it shows there. I see you in my eyes. I can't even do the catchphrase. What the heck?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, and so the play starts off with just kind of a brief covering of everything that's happened up until then, really fast, kind of fast forwarded. And then I believe it cuts to the play follows the manga pretty closely. I don't understand a ton of Japanese. I understand enough to make it so I can travel through there without a problem. Helped that they stuck to the play, so I knew stuck to the manga, so I knew pretty much exactly what was going on. Though there were a couple parts I had forgotten about. I believe it begins on that scene with Mephisto and Rin, where Mephisto's like, by the way, I'm a demon. And Rin's like, you're a demon? Except they didn't have the dinner. It was just kind of a exposition-y moment. It's also the only time in the play where Rin's tail and ears come out when he draws the Kurikara. I think because the rest of the play is so, it's a stage play, so there's a lot of action happening, and I think it was too much for them to pull out the ears and tail for every fight scene. So anytime he draws it, it's just blue light stage effects happening. Trying to skim back through. I'm skimming back through the earlier parts from volume 10 onward. I'm going to have to do this 1 second. From volume 10 onwards, and there's just so much in this manga you miss as you go through it, and then you comes back on later. I encourage everybody to go reread some part of Blue Exorcist when you have some time, especially now that we're getting more details about people. Anywho, it goes into the early parts before the Izumo kidnapping. They do the cross-dressing bride gag? I'm not really sure what to call it.
Oh, God.
During the 7 Mysteries of the School.
Yeah, that one. But they only cover, 2.
Right.
And so they do that one. Lots of fan service. But lots of comedy. They have the guy run around, kiss pretty much every dude on stage. Knocks them out. Takara has to save the day with his handsome dude Ken puppet doll.
Yeah.
Whatever his name was. And the other one they covered was the one where Izumo and Shiemi have to go stop the rage ghost in the girls' bathroom.
Ooh, I love that chapter.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
and they manage to defeat it by the time the boys run in their girls' uniforms.
Mhm.
Oh.
Put on these skirts for nothing. And if you look on the Twitter, they've got like a picture of the cast like in their cute uniforms, except for Yukio. Yukio is the only one not in a skirt, I think, because the costume person didn't really want to go and make the short version of the Exorcist coat just for this one gag, so he's just got the long wig on instead.
Mhm.
The scene, they've also got Mephisto. He just kind of pops in wherever he feels like it. So I think the play did a really good job just with ways Mephisto just gets around. And he was on a swing. He just suddenly swings in from off stage, says a few lines. As he swings back, he shuts up and then starts talking again as soon as he appears again. Like, well, hello everyone. I see that you are all through.
Oh,
I won't
gosh.
tell, or something like that. And he
Oh,
also has
God.
a hoverboard. It's that electric skateboard thing where you kind of have to tilt forward or backwards and it moves you around. There's a bit of a controversy about a year ago because they had a lot of cheap batteries catching on fire, but
Oh, gosh.
super well for Mephisto because he's just kind of floating and flying around certain scenes with his arms behind his back. Very effective. Also, since we're mentioning the pre-school festival stuff, I know a lot of people were wondering if they talk about, what was his name, Godane?
Godine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe he is mentioned by name because there's a scene early on where the classes are trying to decide what they're going to do for the festival. They had a bunch of the extras dressed up as like Rin's homeroom or something like that, and I think one of them was called Godane a couple times, but they didn't get into any of his I can see demon concerns at all. They do the circle dance. I know that's another one a lot of people were wondering about. My only problem with it is I always imagined the circle dance scene to be way more like happy-go-lucky with like poppy kind of music, but the music they used instead was kind of like slow ballet music. So it was like a slow dance kind of situation. So I don't think, yeah. So it's like, but I think it could have been a little. It seemed a little slow and awkward for me personally. But they did do the circle dance. Let's see, moving on in volumes.
Yeah.
And if you guys have any questions at any point, please let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Also, after the Illuminati captures Izumo, I had completely forgotten about the blonde Illuminati member lady. What was her name? Hana?
Maria.
Yeah.
Maria.
Was like Izumo's, I guess, liaison, or when she was kidnapped. And she was there. She did her job. When they had the flashbacks with Izumo and her mom had this kind of really, really ditzy blonde voice. It's like, oh my god, I love you, girl, so much.
Oh gosh.
And the
Oh gosh. No, just stop.
and the
I can't.
danced. It was very, very dramatic. Those were actually probably the best scenes in the whole thing. Anytime Izumo or her mom did their special Nine Tails dance. Her little sister, they did have, what was her name again? I forgot again.
Tsukumo.
Sukuma?
Tsukumo, thank you. Tsukumo was there, but I guess due to Japanese labor laws, they can't really have people younger than 18 working past a certain time of night. So they found the smallest 18-year-old they could manage, but this actually kind of, so she appeared to be more closer to 6 or 8 years old rather than like tiny toddler.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with my friend, I went to the play with my friend Jo, who's only consumed, she's only seen the in all the anime related to Blue Exorcist. So she hasn't read this part, but she said she still understood a lot. But she didn't understand sister didn't recognize her at the end, and I think this didn't really read well because, you know, when you're really, really little, you tend not to remember things later on in your life, even people who are really close to you, and especially the trauma that these sisters went through.
Yeah.
So I don't think that quite read as well, but I don't think there's really that much you can do about it considering it's an evening play. This is a problem with like a lot of idol concerts with, like, I don't know, some of the Idol Master girls or something who are just too young. Who's
Yeah.
not crossed Delta and giving concerts. Anywho. There was so much stage fighting, and these were some athletic people. Oh my gosh, just non-stop jumping off of 10-foot areas and landing without a problem. Backflips, kicks, it was awesome. And for some reason, I guess Shima just is really good at backflips because they wanted you to know Shima can do backflips now, even though I've never really thought of him as the most athletically inclined guy in the series. Backflipping in and out of fights, and I'm like, wow, you don't really need to do this, but this is cool, I guess. That only really could be pulled off in a country like Japan. At the end, if you've seen any live action anime plays before, there's usually that part at the end where they have everybody come out and say a little something to the audience.
Right, yeah.
And I don't know if this was just my showing or every showing, but Rin specifically pointed to Shima and said, hey, can we see some of your backflips? And he's like, oh, okay, fine. And once again, only works in Japan because there's only two ways this can go. Either he lands it or he fumbles it and falls over. He did fumble it, but instead of falling, he just got down on his knees and went, arigato gozaimashita! To the audience. Good times. All of the actors were pretty great. I want to specifically say Gedouin was frighteningly perfect. I don't know if everyone's seen the cast pictures, but he was a really tiny guy, and they gave him the big fat suit and the really crazy rubber mask that makes him look pretty much exactly like manga.
Pig face.
And I praised him specifically on her Twitter because there's a little drawing she did of him running around with his arms spinning in circles because that is exactly how he ran around, like little arm circles. And
yeah, he looks really spot on to manga Gedouin.
Frighteningly so. They also did this great moment. It's only like 3 panels in the manga, but I swear they made this into a 5-minute scene. There's that moment where it goes into Gedouin vision, and he visions himself as this sparkly, cute little Shota angel boy. is like, oh, I understand why you took matters into your own hands. You're so special to me, Gedouin, or something like that. So they have our Gedouin leap behind a pillar, and the timing was perfect. They had a double come out as like kawaii Gedouin, and it was like a perfect screen wipe from into pretty Gedouin, and out comes Lucifer with no shirt, sparkling in the sparkling in the spotlight.
Oh god. Gotta make himself look pretty, man.
To be fair, Lucifer doesn't actually do a lot. So during this arc, when you think about it, so I think they were just trying to get as much mileage out of him as they could. So good times. And once again, any questions, let me know. Oh, and when Gedouin goes into his like big blobby zombie mode, this is probably the worst stage effect they had, but it was really comedic and I enjoyed it. You know what wacky, wavy, inflatable tube men are, right?
Yeah.
He basically stood up on this pillar and then a bunch of wacky, wavy, inflatable tube pink tentacles shot out everywhere. And the it was probably their worst stage fight because it's really hard to stage fight against random tubes flailing in the air. So it was the quality of like pink garbage bags, but it works. is for effects that I think were also goofy but worked well. There's at one point Shammy does some sort of like ore bomb, and what they did is they actually dropped like a ton of green ball pit balls onto the stage. Shammy defeated it with her spore bomb. We better clean up these spores, and they had to proceed to like grab and throw and kick these balls off stage. Having a hard time because they go into the very next scene and people are like trying to run on and kick these balls off 2 times. And complaints about the play really more revolve around the Yukio scenes. Like I mentioned earlier, there was the circle dance, but the one that was the most like why is the moment where Lucifer approaches Yukio, and if you read it, and they followed the manga order for this, and I'm not sure whether I would have picked it this way, because what they do is they have the whole story wrap up, everybody's back home and happy again. Suddenly, record scratch, we're flashing back to Yukio's time in the facility, and Lucifer is like, approaching him, but the actors they had for them are like a head height difference, and Lucifer's shorter than Yukio.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't as intimidating as I think it could have been. And also this was right at the very end of the play, so it put it onto a really kind of weird note. Mm-hmm. Trying to be like, foreboding for the future, but it's like, who knows if we're ever going to get more stage plays out of this. And if we do, I don't know exactly what they would cover. Mm-hmm. In terms of arcs. What Mori?
Probably that, and then it's like a thing skip. It's like not skip, but kind of skim over to the stuff with the
Beyond the Snow.
Section 13, and then go on to Beyond the Snow because that'll be finished. Obviously this chapter was the last one to that.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I have a couple of questions before we wrap up. Well, I guess I did ask these the last time we recorded, but the anime soundtrack was used for the previous stage plays, so I know they were used for this one, as you mentioned.
Blasted Core Pride like 3 times. Like the rest of the audio was fine, and then suddenly the big drum solo at the start of Core Pride was and whatever the opener was for the Kyoto arc, I think I played that one maybe 2 times, but significantly more Core Pride was used.
Yeah.
But it is a great song. I will also say I was a little confused because that song's actually like on the pop rotation in Japan. Like that's a lot of anime songs are, created by pop bands or rock bands, and so a lot of people don't realize they're anime songs until like they go to hear the song and then go buy it. Song would be on the radio, and I'd be like, "Whoa, is there some special Blue Exorcist thing happening?" Oh no, it's just on the radio.
Well, I think Overworld is a really popular band, and they've been around for a long time, so I can understand why.
Yeah, Overworld is one of my favorite bands, so I can't say that they're not popular, but they're highly popular.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
they did stuff for like D. Gray Man and stuff too.
Yeah, Bleach, D. Gray Man.
They did like probably at least.
Mm-hmm. They did a lot of animes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did a Naruto opening too, if I remember.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Every band has done a Naruto opening.
Yeah. Also, you mentioned last night when we recorded that Shima's actor is half American.
Yep, he's half American, but according to his profile, he speaks no English. So, I brought that up mostly because I was hoping that when the future, if we do continue the plays, that they somehow get an actual American to play Lightning.
I hope
right.
I hope they do.
Like a really obnoxious way of pronouncing Japanese.
Oh, like Mari from Love Live, where she pronounces all the English words in a weird way because she's half American.
Or she's Italian? I don't remember.
She's Italian American. Italian American Japanese.
And somehow ended up blonde. Yep.
Shiny!
Oh my god.
It's joke.
Lewin's
Yes.
great because he'll randomly speak English in hiragana.
Oh no, it's also in a similarity of Shokugeki. You've seen Shokugeki. Have you guys seen it?
Just the first episode, and then I got turned off by the foodgasms.
Okay, I know that the foodgasms are a little too much, but there's a character named Alice. She has a mother who has like very poor Japanese speaking, so it's kind of funny. Not too funny, but it's more or less like how she tries to talk in broken Japanese. And so this conversation just like brought it into like, hey, it reminds me of this character.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I was hoping Lightning would be in this. Well, Angel hasn't even shown up in the stage play, so I'm not sure if Lightning will get any attention.
It depends on how deep they get into that, because it'd be really hard to do the Let's Investigate Section 13 without him.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I can understand why Shura wasn't in this particular arc, even though
Well, she's only in the beginning.
Yeah.
had a bun in her hair. Great.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna. It's like I'm thinking, maybe just it's like even though I previously asked the question, just so it's like it's in this podcast too, since we're redoing everything. Basically, did Rin ask with the dance scene? Did Rin ask Shiemi to dance with him? Like, did that scene properly?
Believe so.
Because I'm trash.
The moment that was kind of fan servicey, I'm pretty sure it happened. I don't remember the specifics of the beginning. There was a lot of running around festival prep.
There was also
Both ran up to go and said, "Will you dance with us?" at the same time.
Oh.
There was also there also the scene with Ismo and Rin goes like, if there's anyone I trust, it's you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. I like that scene.
Now I have to buy the stage play. I have to because I'm probably not. It's like if we don't ever get a season 3, that'll be my only chance to get the dance scene, which matters a lot to me.
Yeah. So the stage play is available on CD Japan, but it's really expensive, and also Japanese shipping is expensive. So yeah.
And whatever import costs or buyer's fees you have, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might buy it. Not sure when, but I'll probably try and buy it.
I have a bunch of points on CD Japan right now, so I might as well.
Oh, I have points too. That will probably expire soon.
Yeah.
I actually have Blue Exorcist keychains coming in. I think it's coming in the mail tomorrow.
I need to buy. I want to buy a lot of Bon and Izumo and Shiba and stuff like that.
After we finish, I can show you in the direction of someone who is selling some Izumo keychains on Twitter. So yeah.
Oh, I would love that.
Okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay. Mindy, do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
See. I don't know. The audience at the show was 99% female, which surprised me a little bit. But then again, they were right in the row in front of us. There were 5 middle-aged businessmen sitting next to each other. And I'm like, all right, cool.
That's funny.
I thought we had here, but maybe they really, really, really relate to Salaryman Yukio, Exorcist Yukio. I don't know.
Yes, I know I said this. I know I said this last night, but I'm saying it again. Viz, if you are actually watching this, because I probably know that you're never gonna watch this, but if you are, please license the Salaryman Exorcist manga, please.
Not very long.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, any other notes that you have to share?
Unless you remember something I don't. From
I
last
wanted
night.
to. Well, we didn't talk about the fact that the mangaka she posted pictures for the new year. Did we even talk about that?
Oh, I mean that's not really. I mean that's not really. I guess relevant to the what we talked about in the podcast. But
It's always good because there's gonna end up being cosplays in the future.
oh yeah, that would be cute.
True.
Yeah.
Sammy's outfit in the New Year's one was so freaking cute.
But I think at this point, anyone who's listened to this has seen Kato's drawings. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that just about wraps up everything. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up?
Yukio needs help. Somebody send help for him.
At least he feels a little regret, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He just needs therapy.
Oh, also,
He absolutely needs therapy.
oh, Mindy. Also, you mentioned you saw this in Tokyo, right?
Tokyo, not Kobe, at the Zepp Blue Theater in Roppongi, the night before Halloween. And
Awesome.
it was a party town. I don't know if you guys have seen, that meme of the Virgin Killer sweater?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He was running around drunk in the Virgin Killer sweater, going,
Oh god.
Samui! I'm cold.
Oh yes. Also, you had to buy the tickets through a lottery, right?
Yeah, I had to go through Japan Tickets, who then had to first I had to buy a special volume of SQ Jump and a URL on a specific page for the live act. Then I had to contact Japan Tickets, who is a service who will buy you tickets in Japan for a price. Lotteries, I didn't get it the first time. I got it the second time. After I went through all that rigmarole and worrying that I wasn't even going to get the show, did they open up tickets to U.S. and Chinese, North American and Chinese tourists who wanted to go see it? So,
right, yeah.
Oh well.
Like a month before the show. Like, I even remember seeing that tweet on Twitter and thinking, well, if they had put this out sooner, maybe I could have at least gone to Japan, but if I could only afford it.
I mean, the Chinese tourists can hop over whenever. It's really hard for us.
Right, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I feel...
Yeah, go ahead.
I know that I'm definitely going to be going to Japan sooner or later. I'm not sure if it's going to be up this coming year or if it's coming next year. But I'm probably most likely going to be sightseeing for the manga and seeing if I can find the actual areas for the Blue Exorcist. Because that would be fun.
Yeah, that would be.
Might as well.
It'd be awesome.
Anyway.
Don't use it. Don't use. I'll give you more tips if you have any questions off of the podcast. This isn't a Japan travel podcast, unless people care.
Okay. I think that about wraps everything up for the podcast. So, thank you so much, Mindy and Serena, for being on today, and Momo, who unfortunately had to leave. But, thank you guys so much, and you are always welcome to be on the podcast anytime. Just, let me know.
I'm cool with doing it. I'm cool with coming up on the podcast. I've got time to kill.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay, so we will see you guys in February unless we have anything interesting to talk about when Chapter 98 comes out. So until then, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you then. Bye!
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 Bye!